everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today we're going to be talking about all the pickups that I got at the Calgary Expo. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get to it, and I'll show you all the things that I bought at the Calgary Expo just because I personally bought more than I normally do, so I'm really happy about that. I was like, whatever, I don't care, tax refund time, I'm buying. I'm buying stuff, and normally I'm the kind of person who goes, that's neat, I'll think on that. And this year I was like, no, I'm not thinking it. That's cool, I'm buying. The first thing I'm going to show you is a video game, and it's the only video game that I bought. And the main reason for that is at the Calgary Expo, and I'm sure other, expos like this, there are video game vendors. But these people know their stuff, and they're not stupid, and they know that certain games are really expensive. You're not going to go find, Final Fantasy 3 there, and it's not going to be $15. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're going to see it for like $90 or $80 or $70, whatever. You're just not going to find something like that. You're not going to score and find some rare like PlayStation 1 game. You're not going to find Xenogears for, $25. It's going to be $60. It's going to be $80. So I know that. And if there is a game I'm willing to spend $80 on, like an older game, then absolutely. And it's right there in front of me. I don't need to go on eBay. I don't need to go on Kijiji or whatever. It's just there. But the problem is there's not a ton of games right now that I'm looking for that I'm willing to spend, sure, do I want Harvest Moon? Yes. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really want to spend like $150 on that. The reason I'm using that excuse is I did see a reproduction cart for $30 of Harvest Moon, and I kind of maybe should have bought it, but I was just not feeling it. The game I did see that I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pay that. Is a Vita game. I know I teased it. It's Hatsune Miku Project Diva F2nd. I bought this because I like rhythm games. People on Twitter were telling me that this is the one to get, so I know it's the new one. So yeah, I bought that, and I'm really excited because I like rhythm games because they're the kind of games you can just pull out and play. You don't need to beat it all the way through. You can have some fun. You want to kill some time, play some songs, and then it's done. Kind of like Theatrhythm or any of those kind of games. I just really like it's like, I feel like playing that before I go to bed. No big deal. If I fall asleep, whatever. Next up is a toy because I am an adult. And I bought 11 with her little Egos. I love Funko Pop figures. I think they're awesome. I haven't opened these yet. And for the record, I throw these boxes out because I really don't care. And if that's a crime, so be it. But I'm not a person who's interested in having boxes on the shelf, except for my Ness Amiibo. I am interested, though, in having these figures, everywhere. And so, as a Stranger Things fan and an 11 fan, I bought this. So for people following me on Twitter, you probably know that I just started watching Attack on Titan, and I really like it. It's an anime I've been meaning to watch for a long time now because everyone says it's really good. And so I started watching it last week, and I was like, this is pretty good. I'm actually really liking this, so I got this. Really excited. Mikasa, Ackerman, yay. I really like her. I think she's super cool. There's not a ton in this series, which makes sense. But Eren is kind of the obvious choice, but I really like her character. She's just really cool. She's badass. And I would really like to cosplay as, somebody from Attack on Titan. I don't know. I saw this and I was like, done. Okay, so the next stuff in my pile here, they're all reading material because I've been asking a ton of people on Twitter. You guys all know who you are. What should I buy? What should I be reading? And I got a ton of responses on different things I should buy. In fact, some of the things I bought had nothing to do with anybody's response. I just wanted to buy them because whatever. So I'll just talk about them and the reason why. So the first one is Rosario 2 Vampire. I believe that is how you say it. I looked that up because I'm like, I don't want to be some dumbass being like, I just bought Rosario plus Vampire. And it's like, not that. So people said it was Rosario 2 Vampire, which makes sense. I actually did read this. This is the first one I chose to read. I actually really like it. It's funny. And see, I'm the kind of person that, this is going to sound weird, but one of my favorite anime slash manga, because I've read all of it, seen the anime, is Love Hina, which is really, really fan servicey. Like, to a level where you're like, okay, that's like, really? I mean, over other anime, I'm sure it's so tame, but it's the kind of thing that's so in your face. Like, oh, he just happened to land in her boobs, and then he runs off screaming. I think that's so funny. I think it's funny when there's that awkward, like, geeky guy, and he gets nosebleeds, and he screams and gets punched off in the sky. Like, that is, like, I don't know. I don't know, I'm watching Love Hina again, and it's so funny to me, and I don't care what anyone says. So I saw this, and I'm like, I've heard that it's relatively good, looks a little cheesy, the back is suggestive, so I'm like, okay, that's probably up my it's up my alley. I liked it. I really did. I would actually continue to read this, so yeah. The next manga that I bought is UQ Holder. Nobody told me to buy this, but the reason I did buy it is because it's by Ken Akamatsu, who wrote Love Hina. He's got several other books, but or other series, I mean. But I thought, I don't know, I loved Love Hina, like, so much, and I read some of Najima as well. So I was thinking, what the hell? Like, I love him, and I remember flipping through here, and I'm pretty sure, yep, there's already a naked girl punching a guy. So there you go. It's exactly what I need. The next one I got is a recommendation. I saw it there and I thought, hey, I was told to get this one. I'm going to check it out. And what makes me even happier is actually when I was buying the Mikasa Funko Pop, the guy, like the vendor, he was talking to me about Attack on Titan. And then he's like, oh, have you seen My Hero Academia? And I was like, no, but I just bought it. So I'm like, okay, this is good. So I've had 2 people tell me to read it now. So that's My Hero Academia Volume 1. Looks really cute. I'm excited for it. And whatever this is on the back looks silly and funny and something I will probably laugh at. I really like the cheesy, sort of, I don't want to say pervy, but I do think it's funny when guys get themselves into really awkward situations they didn't mean to get into, and then the girl gets so offended. I don't know. I that's maybe the worst, cheesiest, like, comedy, but I like it done in manga. Next up is one that I've heard about so many times, and I just saw it there and I was like, what the hell? It's probably something I'll like. It looks super shoujo and, like, really girly, but I like really girly stuff when it comes to anime and manga sometimes, so I'm actually really excited. So it's Ouran High School Host Club. This is nothing new, but for me it is because I've just never read it before. It has that really, really pretty sort of manga style, kind of like Sailor Moon. So I'm excited just to check it out because I might actually really like this. Next up is one that I've wanted to check out for a long time just based on the title, and again, it was recommended to me, and it's Assassination Classroom. I'm just excited because the premise seems really cool. It just seems weird, and I love weird, and I like sadistic stuff like Danganronpa. So I'm hoping that's a little sadistic, a little silly. I'm definitely down with ridiculous, and whatever the hell that is looks awesome. So I'm just really excited. So the next one in here, it's a big one, looks overwhelming, is it's a series that I've known about for years. So basically when the internet kind of was a thing and was starting up, I used to spend a lot of time on the Anime Web Turnpike. Does anybody remember that? Yes? Okay, cool. So I used to go on there, and I knew some anime just based on what I'd seen on TV or like things I learn about and stuff. But it was such a cool website because it named tons of anime, and back then there weren't as many series as there are now. Now it's just super overwhelming. But I used to know like the titles to tons of anime, but not necessarily have seen them. So like, you know, there's all sorts of different 90s anime that I totally knew, but I didn't watch them. And it was a lot harder to watch stuff like this back then. There wasn't Crunchyroll. You'd have to maybe try and rent it somewhere, and that was always awkward, but whatever. What I'm about to show you is Ghost in the Shell, Volume 1. I'm not sure how they've sort of categorized these because they're really big, and it's obviously because of the new movie and stuff. But Ghost in the Shell is a series that I've known about for years, and I've just never actually I've never actually read or watched it. I went to the new Hollywood movie with Scarlett Johansson, and I have to say that I really did enjoy it. Now, was it the best movie I've ever seen? No, but the premise was enough to make me go, you know what? I probably would like that. Because I liked it, I'm definitely going to read the manga. So I want to read the manga. I want to at least read this, number one, see what I think, and then I'll watch the movie and from 1995 and just sort of see what I think, because it's, again, there's so many series that I've known about for years and years, either late 80s, early 90s series that I just didn't watch because it was harder back then, and now I'm like, whoa, I'm trying to catch up. So, yeah, this was actually on for a good deal. It was 25% off cover price, so I was like, that's cool. That's better than just going to buy it at the store. So it just looks really cool. Again, it can't get much more, sort of that 80s and 90s, real gritty looking. It's so different. Like, manga has changed so much. But I really like that because it kind of makes me think of, like, again, when I was on the internet, when it first came around, and looking at these things and being like, whoa, that's so cool. All right, so next up is something people are going to be like, what? Okay, so back in the day, I used to be obsessed with comic books. It was kind of that, like, early junior high phase where I was, like, obsessed with buying manga all the time and obsessed with buying comic books all the time. So I don't know if you guys know, and I've mentioned this in a few other videos, but it's been a long time since I brought it up. I used to be obsessed, like on a level of creepy, with Spider-Man. I liked Spider-Man as a kid, but then when Spider-Man came out in 2002, I like the movie. I was like, holy shit, I love Spider-Man. And then ever since, I have been a huge Spider-Man fan. So I am a teenager and I go to one of the comic book stores here. I see a comic book called Spider-Girl. Sounds cheese, but when you're like a 13-year-old girl, that sounds appealing. So I picked it up. I think it was issue 28. Why I remember that, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's the first issue I bought. I thought, this is really cool. So I started reading them, and sure enough, after like 140 issues or something like that, or 120, I don't know what it is now, I only have 2 more to get. So, this weekend I had 4 to get, but I managed to pick up a couple. So I needed issue 87, done, have. And I needed issue 94, and I managed to find it. There's 2 more that I need, issue 93 and issue 96 of just Spider-Girl. I have all the amazing Spider-Girl. Yes, I collect Spider-Girl. If you're wondering, it's actually good. I'm sorry, I will vouch for it. It's actually a really good story. She's supposed to be Mary Jane and Peter Parker's daughter in like an alternate universe, and it's actually really good. Now, I read it as a teenager. I haven't read it for years because my whole thing is I'm trying to get every single one, and I'm going to actually go all the way back to issue 1 and just read all of them. So once I get issue 93 and 96, I'm good. I'm going to read them all. I'm very excited and looking forward to it. They have been publishing them in like graphic novel format now. You can buy them. They're like really little. You can get them at comic book places. But yes, I'm a Spider-Girl fan. And so I thought, screw it, I'm going to look for some issues I don't have, because yes, I have a note on my phone saying which ones I don't have. Still, this is something that's been since like 7th grade that I've been trying to find these. So anyway, I found 2 and I just need 2 more. So I'm really tempted to just order them and then just sit down, relax, and read some Spider-Girl. Those are all my pickups from the Calgary Expo. What a fun time. I had such a great time. I mentioned that in my last video. Please check that out. If you haven't, please go see part 1 of my video, because I talk about all the stuff I did there, just overall, like, what's the deal, what's Calgary Expo. You can check it out there. But yeah, those are my pickups this year, more than I usually buy. I usually get like a game, a book, and maybe that's it. But yeah, I try and find things that are relatively good deals. I like supporting, local vendors and stuff, or just vendors, small businesses in general. It's cool. But I have to say, Anime is just jacked up, as well as video games. You're generally not getting an amazing deal there, so that's why the manga is usually a great deal, because a lot of them will offer US cover price, or they'll do 25% off. Like I got Ghost in the Shell 25% off. That was great. So things like that I'm definitely down for. Or if you buy, if you buy like 5 of these, you get one free, or things like that. So it's cool. And I just like buying stuff. So those are my pickups from the 2017 Calgary Expo. Really looking forward to next year. Can't wait. I've mentioned this, but it is the true geek Christmas. I love it. I look forward to it. It's like a holiday. It's like I don't know. It's just a really fun time. It's great. And like I said, if you live anywhere near here, or you're willing to come, definitely check out the Calgary Expo. It is amazing. It's one of the biggest conventions in North America, so you're not coming out to some little convention. This is a massive con, and they have it run really well, and I just really enjoy my time every year. Now, I'm looking forward to OdaFest, because I'm hoping they will have a ton of anime and manga vendors, so I'm like really hyped on that, because I'm hoping to get even more things I don't need. Yay! So those are my pickups. That's my video. This is part 2 of my Calgary Expo adventure. And I will see you guys next year at the Calgary Expo.